Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I need to repot my Nepenthes hybrid, Nepenthes gaya, because of as you can see, this guy is pretty root bound. I just got this guy out of his pot, and he was root bound, and I snapped a root. It'll be fine. It's just a little root. It's not going to. The plant will be in shock for a little bit, but over time it'll adapt. Now, when you're transplanting a carnivorous plant, is really no different than transplanting any other plant that you may have. The main difference is the soil medium that you need to transplant them in, and the pot doesn't have to be anything fancy. Plastic pots are better because they don't leach any kind of nutrients into the soil. I got this pot off of Amazon. I couldn't really find anything which will suit a Nepenthes. They were a lot of them were just too dang big. And so this is a mix which I made up myself. It's long fibered sphagnum moss, perlite, and of orchid bark. With Nepenthes, stay away from peat moss, because that you don't know which kind of soils a different individual species or a hybrids could possibly grow into to the wild. So just stay away from the peat moss altogether. Stick with something. Heard that cocoa coir is pretty good, but if long fibered sphagnum moss, it's easy to come by, and it's also cheap. You'll find them at your local any of your local nurseries or your hardware stores with a nursery in them. So when you're transplanting a plant, not just carnivorous, but of any kind of plant, you don't want a pot that's too big, because of it could have caused you other problems down the road if you get a pot that's too big for it. I got this thing off of Amazon. If any of you want to know which pot it is off of Amazon, I can give you the description if any of you are interested in it. Nepenthes roots are typically very small. I didn't expect it to be so root bound. And Nepenthes roots, they are very fine and they're very wiry. And the cool thing about these pots here is if you look at the bottom here, it's got a place that you can actually hook another pot underneath, and this was one set of 3. So I got 2 others just like it. And this is just an old coffee can. It's a old coffee can that my father used up. I'm not a coffee drinker. He does, so he let me have it. So I can mix up my soil mixes. Wish I had a stand so I can have this one other hand freed up. But I do not. Okay, if you see this little shoot here, right here, this is what's called a basal shoot. If this guy, when this basal shoot gets any bigger, I can cut that off and use that to use it as a cutting and get another plant. Yeah, I have a little too much water in here, so I'm squeezing the water out. You should be feeling a whole lot better now. I mean, you were root bound and you are not happy, and there's a frog sitting on you too. When I took this guy out of its pot, a frog just popped off and leapt somewhere. See, this big plant used to be inside this itty bitty plant. This of a tiny little pot here, and I took the hook off of it so I can get the plant out of it a lot easier. So there are other mixes for Nepenthes, but every person has his or her own different soil mixes. But some people, like the author of a very good carnivorous plant book called The Savage Garden, he has a very complex soil recipe. Then again, he's been growing these plants for over 30 plus years, so he can be complex. But if you just want a complex soil medium, just equal parts of long fibered sphagnum moss, perlite, and orchid bark, or that you can just skip the orchid bark altogether, because that's really not necessary. It just adds just a little, the orchid bark just adds just a little bit of aeration in here for the roots. And Nepenthes tend to grow as epiphytes in most cases, and I think some of them might grow as lithophytes too. And lithophytes are actually plants that grow on rocks. Like an epiphyte is a plant that grows on other plants for support. Lithophytes only use the plants for support. They get nothing from the rock. So if I'm going to get the hook on this potter off of camera, and so if you happen to like this video, give me a like, subscribe, tell me what you think, and I shall see you next time.